On the front of many bottles like this, you'll quite often see the word rum. But I'm going to show you why that's not often true. Because legally, spiced rum isn't actually rum. It's just merely a marketing term. So by the end of this video, you'll probably never look at the back of a bottle of rum in the same way again. Now I'm going to break this video down into 3 parts. I'm going to talk about rum, I'm going to talk about sugar, and I'm going to talk about quality. Welcome back, rum friends. My name's Steve the Barman, bartender for over 30 years, rum lover for God knows how long. And here on this channel, I did deep dive into rum between 2021 and 2024, but now I'm on a journey to create 100 brand new rum cocktails. And actually, despite what I'm about to tell you, over the years, I've drunk a hell of a lot of spiced rum because when they're done well, I really like them. So to start off, let's talk about rum. And as I just mentioned, spiced rum can't legally be called rum. So why is that? So let's break this down. Let's talk about what rum is very, very quickly. So rum is distilled from a byproduct of sugarcane. It's either sugarcane juice or molasses. And if you're living here in the UK and we've got tons of sugar beet, you cannot distill rum from sugar beet molasses. It has to come from sugarcane. So that's the first bit. It has to be a bare minimum of 37.5% ABV, 40 if you're in the US. And it can only contain a maximum of 20 grams of sugar per litre. Now I've actually got Captain Morgan Spiced in front of me because they are very good at this. Nowhere on the front of that bottle does that claim to be rum. And if I hold it up there, they've got the wording spot on because it says solution rum blended with spices. It's not saying the word this is rum. It's telling you exactly what it is. Now, to sort of really dial that in and really be legal, if we spin it around, hopefully the light should pick that up. But there's big, I would say bold letters. It is bold, but it's in a sort of a dull colour. It says the words spirit drink. Now we'll dive into sort of what spirit drink means in a second when we talk about the next nuance. But this is where, if we're just talking about ABV for a second here, this is where the lines get blurred just very slightly because your likes of Kraken, your likes of Bumbu, your likes of even here in the UK, Captain Morgan Dark, they are at least 37.5% ABV. Most of them are at 40% ABV. So when looking at the ABV, they kind of do fit the category that this is rum. It's of the right ABV or higher. Now this is where we have to dive into the second little nugget that I'm about to share with you, and that is sugar. The maximum amount of sugar allowed in a bottle of rum is 20 grams of sugar per litre. Now, to a lot of people, that'll mean nothing. What does that look like? Surely a lot of these spirits haven't got more than 20 grams of sugar per litre in them. Well, actually, it's very rare for brands now to be under that. Now, I could go off on a whole side tangent here about flavoured gins, flavoured vodkas, some tequilas, flavoured tequilas and all that sort of stuff. They will have, at the very, very minimum, 20 grams of sugar per litre. But if we bring this back to spiced rums, I've known some spiced rums to be hitting 100 grams of sugar per litre, which virtually puts them into a liqueur category. So this is where this term spirit drinks kind of comes from. It's that in between liqueur at like 100 grams of sugar per litre and rum territory, which is 20 grams of sugar per litre. So anything over 20 and under 100 is typically called a spirit drink. Although spirit drinks and liqueurs are kind of loose, there's a lot of inter-swapping and interchanging there. But the thing we should note is that most spiced rums on the market are actually spirit drinks. Now I've actually done the maths for you here, and I'll have to read this out because I can't remember this, but I've done the maths on roughly, if we're saying something is 40 grams of sugar per litre, just so you have a rough, tangible visual aid to look at, okay? So if a bottle contains 40 grams of sugar per litre, that means in a 70 cl like this, that's 28 grams of sugar in that bottle, which then, to make that relatable, is 11 sugar sachets. You know those sachets you get when you go to a cafe, coffee shop, and you open them up and you put that in your coffee? Well, that is the equivalent to 11 sachets of sugar into a bottle this size. And just to bring that right home, if you're having a double measure of that, that's nearly a whole sachet of sugar in every single drink. Now, if we're getting up to sweeter spiced rums, that a lot of them are around 50 to 60 grams of sugar per litre. Of course, they come in 70s here in the UK. So to break this down, if this was 60 grams of sugar per litre, that would mean there's 42 grams of sugar in a 700 cl bottle like this, which breaks down to 17 sachets of sugar, which is about 1.5 sachets per double measure. And all that sugar, that's without looking at your mixers as well, whether you're going cola, whether you're going ginger beer, whether you're going, like me, Lilt or pineapple and grapefruit Fanta, whatever your choice is, whether you're making cocktails. There's also a lot of sugar in those. Now, annoyingly, I was just going to do a little graphic side by side here, and I haven't got the actual normal Chairman's Reserve here. But if I put the bottle on screen, Chairman's Reserve here, the difference between the two, and it's a Chairman's Reserve Original is loosely the base of this rum. The difference between the two will be the spices is added to this, and then sugar. So we know, because that says the word spirit drink, we know there's at least 20 grams of sugar in this bottle. And then the third little nugget I want to focus on is actually the quality of the rum. Because when you're using that much sugar and you're adding vanilla and spices, they're going to mask even the poorest quality rum. And if you're a distiller and you produce a really good rum, then the argument is, why are you going to drown that really good rum with loads of sugar and spices? It is just really a marketing play to sell more rum. But there is the caveat, because when you get brands like Chairman's Reserve, that you can really taste the rum in there and actually use proper spices and minimal sugar, because you do need a little bit of sugar to blend those spices together, then actually they're not a bad thing. But then when you're looking at products like this, that many people don't even really realise is a spiced rum, and yet it quite clearly says it in tiny, tiny little letters here in the middle of the bottle, flavoured rum. Many people look at the likes of that as proper rum, and yet it's not. It's flavoured, it's full of sugar, compared to a rum from Barbados, where this heralds from, maybe like Foursquare, Dawley's, that doesn't have sugar added to it. And as I said, look, this isn't a hate on spiced rum. This is a hate on poor quality, cheap and nasty spiced rums. If you want my advice for looking for a great spiced rum, then A, look at the distilleries, in this case, Chairman's Reserve. We know they distill their own rum, so therefore they're not buying in other people's rum, and therefore not buying in lesser quality rum to flavour up. And the chances are those distilleries, another one would be Don Q from Puerto Rico, they aren't actually going to try to overshadow their base rum with lots and lots of sugar. They're still going to want their rum to shine through. So they are, in my opinion, the best at what they do, because they have that really good base product to start off with. If you're listening to this and you're now completely shocked with the amount of sugar that's added to 95+% of spiced rums, then, but if you like spiced rum, then the way round it is to just make your own. Simply buy your favourite rum, add some of your favourite spices, probably vanilla, maybe cinnamon, maybe a bit of nutmeg, maybe some orange slices in there as well, maybe some cloves, giving you some recipes there. But simply add those to your favourite rum, let them infuse, and then you can add the amount of sugar that you require without going overkill. Now, there will be some of you that think spiced rums don't need sugar. And for you, that might be absolutely correct. But for me, personally, I think they do. And the example I'm going to use here is something like Foursquare from Barbados. I really do not like their spiced rum, because it is literally spices and rum. For me, there is no sugar to round that off. So I find that quite harsh, but it has a lot of fans. It's just on everyone's individual palate. And that's the thing about the category and rum lovers hating on spiced rum. It's not the fact they actually hate the spices. They hate the thing that actually is masking the taste, which is sugar. Now, if you found those little nuggets helpful, then I'd love you to subscribe to my channel, and I'm dropping more and more education. But if you want to go even deeper on your rum journey, then come and join us in my Overproof membership community. Just click the join button on any video or my channel homepage. One of the big perks in that is every Wednesday I do a live stream with my membership, tasting something new, giving my opinions, and it's your chance to ask questions and maybe even join me with a tasting and a daiquiri or two. So I'll see you in there. And if you really don't want to join that, but you want to watch another video, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to pop one on screen right now.